Icknield School is a special school for children with severe learning difficulties. Half of them have got autism on their statement, and some of our children have got profound and multiple learning difficulties and are dependent on adults for all of their needs. The RRR agenda underpins everything we do. Primarily for us, it's about giving our children a voice, and in that way they're enabled to make decisions and choices that impact on their daily lives. When we started working towards gaining rights respecting school status, we undertook a classroom audit based on the criteria for rights respecting schools. So all staff were involved in that, and they understood that we needed to speak the language of the rights respecting schools and looked for opportunities to enhance our practice. I delivered training through whole school staff meetings, and we discussed quite carefully different areas in the school day where we could give children choices and whether they were appropriate or not to give children choices in those situations. For instance, was it okay to ask a child if they wanted to go out to play or not? Or did we feel it was important that they needed the fresh air out in the playground rather than deciding to stay in the classroom because it was an easy option?
At the beginning of every year, we do a class charter which describes to the children their rights but also the linked responsibilities that go with that. For example, at the beginning of last year, each child made a handprint that was stuck on the wall. Some of those handprints had the written words for their rights on, and some of the handprints had the written words for their responsibilities on. Every child had something to do with that activity, for example, cutting out the hand, decorating the hand and sticking words on. And some of the more able children were actually able to give some examples of what their rights may be and what their responsibilities may be. And we made it into a big charter on the class wall.
As a staff, we've worked very hard to give our children a voice. We have a communication lead, and we've set up different augmentative communication appropriate for individual needs. So some children might communicate by signing and vocalising. Some children might communicate by giving a symbol in order to exchange for something else, for instance an item of food or a toy that they might choose at playtime or at a choosing time. Some children might use Big Mac switches, where you can record a voice onto the switch and the child will press the switch to communicate what it is they want. Some children will be able to speak themselves and won't need those augmentative communication systems. We also use objects of reference, which are physical objects representing activities or rooms in the school. For instance, a piece of toweling is used throughout the school to communicate that that child is going to have hydrotherapy. When they leave their classroom, they're encouraged to touch and feel the piece of toweling. It's taken with them to the hydrotherapy pool and they match it against the object on the pool door. We may have a wooden ring which represents circle time. So just before the child takes part in circle time, they will be given a wooden ring to hold, to feel, and then they understand that then they're going to take part in circle time. We also use something called the pictorial exchange communication system, where a child gives a symbol or a picture of something in exchange for something they may want. Our staff are very good at giving children choices at all times in the day. For instance, if a child is swimming in the hydro pool, carrying out some activities, a staff member might ask, do you want to kick the ball or hit the ball? It's a very simple way of involving a child in their own learning.
Which one?
Hit it.
Hit it, well then. Put his hand. Hit it. Yeah!
So there are a number of ways we use to enable children to communicate and make choices throughout the school day. At a very simple level, it might be offering them a choice between two objects.
Would you like to choose the yellow ball
or the orange smiley face? Which one? The orange smiley face. Good boy, can you take it? Good boy, well done.
Within the group I've got a wide range of needs. Some of the children are verbal, some of the children are non-verbal, and so it's important that as the teacher and the person leading the group, I'm aware of what each child's precise needs are and how best to meet them.
Lots of exciting technology which empowers children and involves them in their own learning. We've got the magic carpet. Really it's to encourage them to think about cause and effect. It's a computer which projects a picture onto the floor. It may be a picture of poppies in a field. When the child walks across the picture or rolls across the picture or touches it in any way, the poppies will move to reveal the landscape behind. This gives the children the message that they are empowered to be able to be involved in their own learning. We've also got an opti-beam in the hall which projects bright spots of coloured light down onto the floor, and when the beam is broken with a small baton or a hand, the children can change the picture on the projector, they can make sounds, they can make music. Again, it's about involving the children in the activity, seeing that they can make a difference.
Gary is 17. He is non-verbal and severely autistic. He has very little understanding of anything and not able to do many things for himself. While he's been at school, the staff are excellent. They differentiate the curriculum to enable him to access all sorts of things, not only in school with a peer group, lessons, cooking, out and about in the community. They help him to go shopping, they help him to go to the cafe. He's supported to do lots of things in the community that he would never have been able to do